Tonight, in our coverage, Arab Summit backs Egypt's plan for Gaza Reconstruction, pushing for stability and Palestinian rights. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Elia Batul. Canada is retaliating after U.S. President Donald Trump imposed 25% tariffs on nearly all Canadian goods, triggering a trade war. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced $155 billion in counter tariffs. Out of these, $30 billion worth of tariffs will take effect immediately and the rest in 21 days. Trudeau has dismissed Trump's justification, calling it a deliberate attempt to harm Canada's economy. He has vowed that Canada will never back down. Trudeau says the counter tariffs will remain in place until the U.S. withdraws its own measures. Ontario Premier Doug Ford has threatened to cut off electricity exports to American customers, while opposition leaders and industry groups warn of economic fallout. Analysts predict a potential recession with rising inflation and job losses. Despite Canada's recent $1.3 billion border crackdown on drug trafficking, the U.S. insists tariffs will remain until further action is taken. Critics argue Trump's move violates Canada-United States-Mexico agreement and could destabilize North American trade. Markets reopened to sharp losses after U.S. President Donald Trump confirmed 25% tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico, along with a 10% tariff on Chinese goods. The Dow fell 1.4%. The S&P 500 dropped 1.75%. Nasdaq sank 2.6% as investors reacted to the escalating trade war. Canada and Mexico have vowed retaliation. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau calls the tariffs unjustified and announced counter tariffs. Mexico also pledged a strong response. China condemned the move as bullying and is expected to target U.S. agricultural imports. Trump defends the move, saying the tariffs will protect American manufacturing. He is urging companies to relocate to the U.S. to avoid penalties. U.S. President Donald Trump has halted military aid to Ukraine, demanding Kyiv commit to good faith peace talks. The move follows a heated exchange with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy at the White House. The White House says the aid is under review to ensure it supports a long-term resolution. Experts warn that without U.S. support, Ukraine may struggle to hold its front lines against Russia. Democrats and Ukraine supporters have condemned the decision, calling it a boost for Russia. Meanwhile, Europe is scrambling to respond, with the UK and France exploring peace talks and military aid options. However, analysts say European support alone cannot replace U.S. assistance. Muslim and community groups in the United Kingdom have rejected the Drumlanrig Accords. The agreement is aimed at strengthening Jewish and Muslim relations. It was signed at Drumlanrig Castle. The pact was praised by King Charles III. Critics argue it lacks legitimacy. Key organizations opposing the accords include Friends of Al-Aqsa, the Islamic Human Rights Commission, the Cordoba Foundation, and the Palestinian Forum in Britain. Their rejection is largely due to Chief Rabbi Ephraim Mirvis's support for Israel. The groups point at the war in Gaza, where more than 61,000 Palestinians have been killed. They accuse Mirvis of failing to condemn Israeli actions and argue that reconciliation is impossible under these conditions. The statement also questions the legitimacy of the Muslim leaders who signed the agreement, including Dr. Saeed Razawi and Imam Qari Asim. The groups argue these imams do not represent the wider British Muslim community. While the groups support interfaith dialogue, they insist it must involve grassroots participation. They remain open to future cooperation, but demand that Rabbi Mirvis publicly condemn Israel's actions in Gaza before reconsidering their stance. Israeli forces have killed 2 Palestinians in Gaza and a third in the occupied West Bank, escalating tensions. The latest violence follows Israel's decision to back out of a truce deal, further fueling unrest. Israel has reinforced its blockade on Gaza at the start of Ramadan. It is pressuring Hamas to extend the first phase of the truce while refusing to implement the second. Aid groups have condemned the restrictions as collective punishment. International pressure is mounting, with Canada, Germany, Spain, and Turkey voicing concerns over Israel's restrictions on aid. U.S. Envoy Steve Witkoff is set to return to the region in an effort to extend the truce or advance negotiations. Despite the war, nearly 260,000 Palestinian children have enrolled in a United Nations Refugee and Works Agency distance learning program. Gaza's school year officially began on February 23rd, but with 85% of schools in ruins, most students remain unable to return to classrooms. The Palestinian Media Office in Gaza has updated the death toll to at least 61,709. At least 111,803 have been injured. An emergency Arab summit in Cairo has endorsed Egypt's $53 billion plan to rebuild Gaza in over 5 years. The proposal is calling for international financial support and aims to prevent Palestinian displacement. The plan includes phased reconstruction with rubble clearance and temporary housing in the first 6 months. Over the next 5 years, 400,000 housing units, a port, an airport, and economic hubs will be developed. A Palestinian-led committee will manage Gaza under Palestinian Authority oversight, with elections planned within a year. Egypt and Jordan will train Palestinian security forces, and a United Nations peacekeeping force is proposed. The summit condemned civilian casualties and Gaza's destruction, warning that blocking Palestinian statehood will fuel instability. It is also urging global efforts to secure a lasting ceasefire, warning that its collapse would derail reconstruction. The plan emphasizes Palestinian ownership of the process and aligns with international legal frameworks supporting a two-state solution. The documentary No Other Land has won the Academy Award for Best Documentary Feature, shining a global spotlight on Palestinian displacement. Created by Palestinian-Israeli Collective, the film follows a Palestinian activist and an Israeli journalist. The individuals document life in Masafer Yatta, a village under Israeli occupation. Directors Basil Adra, Hamdan Balal, Yuval Abraham, and Rachel Soar described the film as an act of resistance. Speaking at the ceremony, Adra has expressed hope that his newborn daughter will not grow up fearing settler violence and home demolitions. Abraham has denounced inequality under Israeli rule, urging global action to end Palestinian suffering. Filmed over 4 years, No Other Land has already won top honors at the Berlin Film Festival. Pro-Palestinian protesters were also present at the event, condemning Hollywood's silence on Israeli actions in Gaza. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News Canada. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV.